What is going on, you guys? PHHY here, and today we're going to be checking out the top 10 best side deck cards post-Photon Hypernova leading into the Cash Money Cash Tira format. Essentially is what we're going to be doing. So today we're going to be looking at, again, the best side deck cards. Some of these cards you may want to main deck depending on how saucy you're feeling, but realistically, guys, these 10 cards, they are assuming that we don't get a balance, so assuming, again, that tier limit is at full power. But even if tier limit gets like the sauce just like slapped up, right, this is still really good, effective again against the Cash Tira strategy. Now Cash Tira is again living up to the name and demanding a lot of cash for the deck core. I'm seeing the entire set being sold for like $600 online. I think they're getting like a field spell or something, and it is absolutely crazy, guys. But if your locals is as competitive as the ones that I know, then you are definitely going to want to stay prepared, and this is going to be the video for you. So go ahead and stay tuned, guys. We got 10 cards we're going to be covering today, 11 if you count the bonus card. Let's get right into it. Alright, guys, so the first card on our list, number 1 on our list, is going to be Book of Eclipse. So Book of Eclipse has seen some play here and there, mainly in Fluandre's type decks, when either exchange it for itself or Book of Moon, things like that. And before we get out of into adventure, but I'm here to tell you that Book of Eclipse is actually going to be making a comeback here in this upcoming format. So why a Book of Eclipse, right? So Book of Eclipse, first of all, it flips everything face down, right, which is really good. At the end of the turn, whatever, everything gets turned flipped face up, your opponent draws, that's fine. But Book of Eclipse is actually the perfect counter for the Cash Tira strategy. So Cash Tira, what they're going to be basing it all off is they're going to be setting up their Cash Tira era, or Cash Tira Shangri-La, I believe was the OCG name. Anyway, that's the one that anytime that one of your cards get banished face down, then they get to pick a zone, and that zone is completely nullified. And then they also back it up with an Arise Heart, things like that, maybe some other monsters here and there. A Book of Eclipse flips everything face down, which means they are no longer active, which means also then you can go ahead and go play freely, go on about your day, and just slap up the Cash Tira Cash Money deck easy peasy. That's the one drawback with the Cash Tira strategy, that it does not have a lot of spell trap and monster negates. Really what it's going to be trying to do is to pretty much just pick at each one of your zones and snipe each one of them out. Also, don't really rely on the graveyard either, so cards like Bestials are not going to be nearly seen as much, which means the price of them are going to drop most likely. Again, that's just my personal prediction. I cannot see the future, but I can say that I do believe that the Bestial strategy, the Bestials overall, may see a drop in price. Now, not to say we are still getting Bestial support, so the Bestial deck overall might be getting popularity, but I think itself being used as an engine is going to be dropping less and less. Second on our list, guys, we have Swords of Concealing Light. This card right over here. I already got my playset. There you go. I actually just found these randomly like yesterday, so that was great, perfect timing. So with Swords of Concealing Light, guys, it essentially is going to solve the exact same issue that Book of Eclipse is doing. Book of Eclipse is going to be better though because it is a quick play. You can activate during your draw phase. That way Cash Tira era can activate during the standby phase, which gives you more advantage that way as well. The good thing about Swords of Concealing Light though is that it does stay on the field for 2 turns in the event that you cannot get over your opponent's monsters for whatever the reason might be. Also, it is a little bit more susceptible to other cards that would destroy this, of course, Twin Twister, MSTMs, you know, any type of cards that would destroy back row. This is going to be immediately susceptible to, so do watch out for this in case your opponent does side Twin Twisters, things like that, which Cash Tira might. It's still undecided as far as what Cash Tira is going to use to counter these cards, but I do believe either Swords of Concealing Light or Book of Eclipse, you should be good to go. It really just depends on what your personal preference is. Now, my personal preference is going to be still Book of Eclipse over the Swords of Concealing Light, I should say, just because, again, it's a quick play. You can activate it immediately, and the way you prevent your opponent from getting more advantage that way as well. Next up, guys, on our list, we have some board-breaking monsters, guys. So I have number 1, I'm going to put this one first. I have 3 monsters I'm going to cover today. Number 1 is going to be Lava Golem. So Lava Golem is probably the best option for you guys, mainly because the Cash Tira strategy is always going to end up, or at least try to always end up, on at least 2 monsters on the board. One being the Cash Tira era, and the other one, most likely, they're going to try to summon out the Cash Tira Arise Heart. So that is going to be a big 1-2 punch for you. They might summon a Mind Hacker as well. They might have another monster on board, whether it's a Unicorn or a Fenrir, but that is going to be on board. So you're guaranteed to have 2 monsters you're going to be able to get rid of. And once you get rid of those monsters, you're clear as day to go ahead and play your entire deck. So that is main strategy of Lava Golem. Lava Golem is also extremely good against Sprites and against the tier element strategy as well, guys. Being able to tribute your opponent's monsters is really good. In this light, you guys could also argue that the Kaijus might be making a comeback, but that's a little bit too far gone for now. The only reason why I'm not putting Kaijus on this list, since we're on the topic, is mainly because Kaijus only get rid of one, when realistically the big issue in this upcoming format is going to be more than one monster. If you're going up against Sprite, you're going to have to deal with cards like Totally Awesome, you have to deal with Sprite Elf, you have to deal with a whole bunch of other stuff, maybe Sprite Red, Sprite Carrot, whatever it might be. And when you're dealing against Flandries, you're going to have to, first of all, you're not even going to be able to Kaiju unless you have the Wind Kaiju, because you're going to have the Barrier Statue. Again, if we don't get a ban list, which we really need a ban list, unless a ban list started to come out by the time this video comes out, then whatever. You know, you guys get what I mean. So that we have going for ourselves. And then for the tier element strategy, you can just tribute their board, and then you should be good to go ahead and play from there. You just need to make sure that you have decks, you're playing a deck that's actually able to play without its normal summon, because that is going to be something that's taken away from you. Next up, following the same footsteps as the Lava Golem, I have Raw Sphere mode. So Raw Sphere mode is actually essentially the same thing a Lava Golem does, except it's normal summon, which is also nice to know. So with the Raw Sphere mode, it takes 3 monsters, so it's a little bit more risk-taking, and if they see it in your side deck, they're most likely not going to summon 3 monsters, so it is something that's on a fair balance as well, guys. I mean, essentially, you need to know that you're going against a deck that will go all out against you. So this destroys deck like Sprite, of course. You can get over Fluandries with this, potentially, but most likely they're going to be ending on an M-Pen and a Barrier Statue. Again, barring the ban list. So I would not side this against these. Against Kashtira, of course, it's going to be fantastic if you do know they're going to end on a Unicorn, a Fenrir, and a Era, or an Arise Heart, one other monster. Like I said, I would highly recommend the Lava Golem over the Sphere mode, but I'll leave that out to personal preference. And the last monster we're going to cover, guys, is going to be Nibiru. So Nibiru, actually, I think is going to be extremely saucy this upcoming format, and mainly because nobody's preparing for it. No one prepares for it whatsoever. Actually, funny, I was at Locals the other day, and we're going the time, the call time during my opponent's main phase. We both had 1-1, and he goes, he's going full combo and everything with Naturias, and he goes into Cowboy. And I did not see that. I did not see that coming, but I did have Nibiru in hand, and we ended up tying because of that one card. So, aside from that one-off scenario, I do believe Nibiru is going to be really powerful this upcoming format. I mean, Kashtira does not have any monster negates whatsoever. So again, it is going to be really good for that aspect as well. It will most likely find something to play within that deck in order to be able to go ahead and have some type of monster negate. But as of right now, it has no in archetypes. So it is something really big. You can go ahead and Nibiru and just wipe their entire board. Same thing with Tier Element. Just make sure that if you're going to be doing it up against Tier Element, you do it very late in the combo before the summon Rukalos, and to make sure that you're not going to be clearing any name that has not activated the effective fusion summon yet, because at that point you're just stabbing yourself in the foot and activating their effects for them. They'll just say thank you very much and go about their day. Against the Sprite and Fluandries is the 2 decks that Nibiru pretty much does nothing against, because if you're going up against Nibiru playing Sprite, well, a Sprite player should always have a Sprite Red or have activated Gigantic Sprite before their 5th summon or on their 5th summon. So essentially with that, it does make Nibiru less viable, in which case I would probably recommend either Lava Golem or the Sphere mode. Next up on our list, guys, I have Lightning Storm. So Lightning Storm, I've obviously seen a lot of very high competitive gameplay in the recent past year, 2 years. So Lightning Storm is a phenomenal card because it destroys everything your opponent controls, right? So all the attack position, all spells, traps your opponent controls, whatever it might be, depending on which one you want. Now, the Kashtira Era is going to be something in defense position, so it's not going to take care of everything, but it does give you a lot more versatility as far as destroying either monsters or the spells and traps. And this is where we're going to be covering the 11th card, because I wanted to go ahead and put these 2 together. I have either Lightning Storm or Raigeki. I'm personally going to prefer Raigeki in this situation, just because there's not really any back row decks that I fear. I mean, essentially anything that could have back row has, of course, back row protection and things like that, but there's really no good back row deck right now, which made me think that the second half of Lightning Storm is going to be kind of useless at this point. But again, I digress. I think Raigeki is going to be a much better option. Raigeki stomps out Sprite if you're able to bait out the negate. Raigeki puts in work against Tier Limit in the event that you're able to go ahead and get it off. Yeah, this will be able to go ahead and probably rebuild parts of their board, whatever it might be, but you'll be in a much better state as well. And again, destroys Cashiera, like slaps it up. Also, again, destroys Fluandries. Again, I'm right now assuming that it's going to be Cashiera, Sprite, Tear Lament, and Fluandries for the top 4 decks of the format. If something else comes up, then, you know, it is what it is for that point, but I think Raigeki is probably going to take a better position right now over Lightning Storm. Next on our list, guys, I have Zombie World. So Zombie World is really just against Fluandries. Fluandries sucks to play against, but if you slap this down and, you know, it is what it is, then you're good to go, pretty much. So that's pretty much it. It's pretty much no real explanation needed. Zombie World. Now, guys, we have Evenly Matched. So Evenly Matched is going to be extremely good in this upcoming format. Again, destroys a lot of the top tier decks, destroys rogue decks as well, especially if they don't have any type of spell or trap negate on the board. But Evenly Matched is going to be fantastic against the Cashiera strategy as well, because they'll most likely either leave their Arise Heart or their Cashiera Era on board, and regardless which one they want to go ahead and save, the rest of the field is wiped, so they don't really have much advantage after that as well. So I think Evenly Matched is going to be absolutely fantastic in this upcoming format. I actually need to go ahead and find mine. I think I lost mine. And the last card I have on the list, guys, is going to be Infinite Impermanence. So Infinite Impermanence, it's not really going to be a big surprise, big reveal type moment, but Infinite Impermanence does take care of a lot of issues that you might have with this upcoming format. Prevents Cashiera Era from activating during that turn, so you're good to go from there. Or prevents the Mind Hacker or the Arise Heart from activating their effects, therefore preventing the Cashiera Era. Prevents Kick Cows from activating the Search effect, so that's kind of nice as well. Or you can stop the Rhino Heart, you can stop the Sheeran, whatever you want. Well, not necessarily the Sheeran, but you know what I mean. You can stop the Gigantic Sprite with this. It doesn't activate Triple Tactics Talent. I mean, Imperm is just probably one of the best hand traps in the current format, just because it doesn't activate Triple Tactics Talents, or Triple Tactics Tasking, which is going to be the new card coming out, so that is something to keep in mind as well. Actually, let me go ahead and check, because Triple Tactics Tasking is if a monster effect. Okay, if your opponent activates monster, yeah, so it's not even going to activate Tasking. The reason I did not put Tasking in this is because I do not believe Triple Tactics Talent or Triple Tactics Tasking are side deck cards. These are going to be main deck cards, straight up. I mean, Triple Tactics Tasking, set whatever you want. It's nuts, right? And same thing with Talent as well. So these cards are going to be, I'm not showing the screen right now, but Talent and Tasking are main deck worthy. I mean, if you're siding them, I personally want to know why. So if you guys side these cards, let me know in the comment section down below why you would side them instead of main deck them. But again, just so we can all go ahead and get a little bit better at this game, including myself. So that's going to be it for the top 10 best side deck cards post-Photon Hypernova leading up to this next format, guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Is there a card I missed? Let me know again in the comment section down below. Leave a like if you guys did enjoy, subscribe for more, hit that notification bell, and I'll see you guys in the next one.